welcome to a very special ASMR intro episode of the Black Tower podcast. I'm saying all my S's in my eyes the same way.
Zach Galifianakis being incredibly awkward on this episode of Between Two Friends.
I'm hoping that this makes you as uncomfortable as it makes me hearing my own voice. I feel like I'm going to jail within the next 5 seconds, and there are the flashing blue lights. So very quickly, before they can put me in cuffs, welcome to another episode of the Black Tower podcast. I am one of your hosts, Vajan Mahal, who is currently in hiding like somebody that got shot down in an aircraft behind enemy lines and then turned around and got sued for making an illegal movie. Looking at you, Owen Wilson. But I'm your Vajan Mahal, Andrew, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
I am your Zorovan Mahal. Also, I'd like you to know that I have recently left my job at NPR, where my sultry vocalistics come into play.
And I made your Amin Mahal Daniel.
Hey, Daniel!
And my mic is far away from my mouth, so I gotta yell at it.
And we are the Black, by our taint combined.
Yes.
We are the Black Tower podcast. Yes, our adoring fans.
Wait, are you piping that in? Because we shouldn't have a crowd right now.
We totes have a crowd. They're all patrons. They all love us so much that they contribute $1 a month to keep the show going, or more. Some of our more
and
wealthy...
we thank you very much for those of you who contribute $1 or more.
It's true. We are supremely grateful to our patrons, which is why they get to listen on Wednesday
live.
They get to hear us battle our technical difficulties. It's great. It's awesome.
Oh,
it's good
and
fun times.
I can guarantee it's live. Look at your clock right now. It's 5:16 p.m. PST.
What?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Irrefutable evidence of amazingness. Yeah, I will like to say that one person left a review that said
what?
Angelic voices, greatest and most intelligent content they've ever heard. This person also said that he could light a pipe with a mere thought, and that he's been around for thousands of years. So he sounds pretty legit. Just say
what platform was this on, though? We got this review.
You know what, Daniel? Don't ask questions, okay? Just go with it.
All right, cool. So today we're going to be talking about some interesting stuff.
It's true.
And before we get into those interesting
we
things,
always talk about interesting stuff, though.
You're not even wrong. But before we go into those interesting things, we got to make sure the people are protected.
Protection is important.
Wrap it before you mic it. So today we are definitely going to be talking about stuff that spans the entire series. So you're going to want to just pinch that book one, slap it onto the tip of your ear holes, and then just roll it all the way down to book 14, because we're going to get the whole thing. The entire breadth. Looks, given I can see the length of the series, I'm going to say it's about 2.5 feet when all stacked next to each other.
I am not prepared.
So make sure that you have your Magnum condom for your Magnum dog.
And if you
for
don't,
your Magnum book series,
if you don't, can I offer you a nice egg in this troubling time?
Hashtag
and if you're one of those people who doesn't put on a nice spoiler condom before you listen to one of our episodes, just know that I'm going to come to your house. And anyway, I'm going to stop blasting. No, 2 words. I am retired.
That's right. That's right.
So good. Anyway, but yeah, definitely be warned. The whole series is up for grabs here. We're going to talk about all of the things everywhere, every single page, page 1 to page all of them. So you've been warned.
And make sure that you stay tuned to all the way through the episode, because I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be at the end. I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to be at the end, but somewhere within the last 30 to 45 minutes of the episode, we have a very exciting announcement that we pseudo agreed to make, but never definitively decided on. But we're going to go ahead and do it because I've been wanting to do it for so long, and it's been so long since I got to do it that I just can't hold back anymore.
Yeah,
it must be
about
done.
right.
This is actually pretty big. You guys know that the taint does not take Andrew very often, but when it happens, you know it's gonna be good.
More shoddy, the bringing you on the podcast, that's still secret. Oh shit, I gotta believe that.
Damn it. Yeah, edit that part out.
We'll fucking clickbait people and be like, hey bleep, bringing you on the podcast is supposed to be very secret, and be like, who are they talking about?
That would be horrible.
So tonight's episode is brought to you by the montage. You know what I'm talking about?
Montagues?
The montage. You know what I'm talking about?
Are they the people who are against the Capulets?
Count Monte Cristo?
No.
The Count Monte Cristo?
It's when they say the hour's approaching to give it your best. You've got to reach your prime. Well, that's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us a passage of time. We're going to need a montage.
Is this like running up the stairs and like punching
the very
slabs
best?
A montage.
Like no one ever was.
That no one ever was. To
Show a lot of
catch them
my real
is
test.
my
at
real
once.
tests.
Remind everyone of what's going on.
To tame them is
And with every
my
shot,
call.
show a little improvement. To show
Wait, can we
it
just
all would
can we
take
have
too long.
him? Can we have Christopher Walken do?
That's called a montage.
You know how amazing it would be to have Christopher Walken do the intro, like, hello and welcome everyone to the Black Tower podcast.
We got to, you know what? We got to do one of those cameos, and we got to get Christopher Walken to do an intro for the. That's what we got to do.
I would also accept William Shatner as Captain Kirk. This is the Black Tower podcast.
Black
And
Tower Pod.
No, wait.
Cast.
Hang on. I need you to. If you're gonna be Captain Kirk, I need you to be Captain Kirk. Just
Captain Kirk or Shatner. That's the game. Shatner. Intro. Shatner. Now go.
start date 8/26/2020. I was awoken from my bed by the gentleman from the Black Tower.
Sounds like a home invasion.
They said I needed to be on their live show of
Did he freeze out, or is he Shatnering
I
that
don't
well?
know where I am right now.
Andrew, give it your best, Shatner. No. Taint! I love it.
Wow, that's impressive.
like
For the
it.
first time ever, I heard Daniel overload his
I was
own
about
mic.
to say, Daniel never clips. Nicely done,
Oh.
sir.
Oh wow!
It was gonna happen at some point. It was
Like,
always
I
fated
wanted to do the
be.
freaking Family Guy skit from it, where it was like, "Welcome back to Star Trek, but for goats," and instead of Con, it's just bah.
So on tonight's episode, we're going to discuss.
Oh God, how amazing would it be if one of the Forsaken at some point was just like, "Rah!"
Well, Rand does have a moment like that.
Which one?
Robbie.
Oh no, you're right. But he
does.
does it like 8 times.
He does. He was
In that
shattering
one
his
sequence,
own
he just
Shatner.
Shatnered every single whole 5 minutes.
That's probably my 2 favorite moments in the audiobooks. If you guys haven't listened to the audiobooks, you should. Michael Kramer and Kate Redding do an amazing job.
Mhm.
We were super stoked to have them on the show a while back. And they do it. There's some of these sequences that are just almost laughable. And I hate to say that because it's a series that we love so much. But
Well,
2
and like
of
again,
the finest
it's never
scenes.
not good.
Right.
But there's definitely times where it's like, I'm sorry, what?
2 of the finest portions in the audiobook are, and I quote,
I know which 2.
flicker, 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 flicker,
Yes.
flicker, 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 flicker.
Walk a flicker flame.
And Robbie. Now, I don't know how you do that with a straight face.
You
And I
don't.
suspect that
The
they
magic
did not.
of editing.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you just don't. You
And I
cut
will
the part
say-
where you're laughing hysterically out.
There was, let's see.
Give it away, give it away, give it away.
One,
give it away now.
one of the guys, I think it's Blue Ashaman. Shaman. Anyway,
Also,
he's
I have to
Italian.
admit, my third favorite is just anytime anyone ever says Mogedian, Mogadine, Mogadan,
Muggity.
Mogajin,
Moogity Moogity.
If you don't sound like
Muggydine.
you're having a stroke when you say Mogadine's name, like, are you really pronouncing Mogadine's name?
The answer is no.
Pronunciation is just one of the greatest subjects.
Pronunciation is 9 points of the law.
Okay, so here's
I think that's
so
possession.
I made the joke
It
to
is-
one
it
of
is.
our
Which
guys.
means that every demon that's ever been exercised has actually been unjustly exercised.
Right.
Because possession is 9 points of the
Hey.
law.
All right. I see.
By the way, there have for some reason been like 3 shows that I've been watching recently that have all had the misquoted line, possession is 9/10 of the law, which is not correct. That is not the
No.
fucking quote.
It is not correct. I
It is
agree.
the
And it's
colloquialism.
really annoying that all 3 of these shows have gotten it wrong. Like, and it doesn't seem like they're doing it to correct it. Like, oh, there's 9/10 of that. That's not the fucking saying, motherfucker. Like, no, none of them have got, like, they've just said it and then moved on. And it's like,
Well, like
this isn't a joke. This isn't anything. You just got this saying wrong.
what's
Dick.
another saying that they always get wrong? They always say what blood is thicker than water. That's actually
is-
not accurate.
It is.
No, it's not.
I mean, scientifically,
The full quote.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You know
No.
what? Screw
It's-
you and your science, okay?
No.
We don't want your
It's-
science and your facts.
See, no. Jack of all trades is a saying. That is correct. It is not all of the saying. And I will agree with that completely. But when you're talking about possession is 9 points of the law, that is the whole saying. Possession is 9/10 of the law is just wrong.
It's like when people say like
Okay,
no
okay.
Luke.
'Cause you're right.
It's like when people say like no, like I am like Luke, I am your father, and it's actually what is it like? No, Luke.
No,
Well,
he
it's-
says
What is it?
Luke Obi-Wan never told you about your father, and Luke
Mhm.
says he told me enough. He told me you
enough.
killed him.
No.
And then Vader says, "No, I am your father."
am your father.
And then another one. This is like one of the most. It's so funny because it's one of the most shocking scenes in cinematic history, but it's one of the most misquoted as well. Because Luke then responds with,
No,
"No, that's not true.
impossible.
That's impossible." No. And then Vader says, "Search your feelings. You know this to be true," which is a great line.
Yeah.
And then while Vader is like, "Join me. We can overthrow the Emperor." He has foreseen this. Luke goes, "Oh, so I survive if I just jump."
Mm-hmm.
And looks at Vader and just goes, "Yeet!" and yeets himself right off.
Search your feelings.
Oh my God. James Earl Jones is here. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest James Earl Jones. Mr. Earl
I
Jones.
forgot how to poop without my corn cob butt wipes.
That was too much information there, Mr. Earl Jones.
Have you guys seen the edits where it's just shots from Star Wars of just A New Hope, but it's just James Earl Jones's other lines from other movies? And so he'll like be holding the guy up like by his throat, and he'll be like, "That's it. I'm tired of this motherfucking like whatever."
I got one better for
What?
you.
Anyway,
Little
Wheel
bit of
Time.
Wheel of Time. Welcome to
What?
the Wheel of
This
Time.
isn't the
not
Black.
Star Wars podcast.
This isn't the Black Star Destroyer podcast.
Look, guys, if we ever run out of shit to talk about, we're going to change to the Black Tower podcast, a tangent podcast, where we pick a topic and talk about it for 5 seconds.
Yep.
That's our future. When we've covered
Wait.
all 7 ages worth of content.
The
Wait,
Wheel
guys,
of Time
no,
is
I have
cool
a
show.
brilliant idea. For the Black Tower podcast, what we need to do is choose our topics that have nothing to do with the Wheel of Time. And then the tangents that we go on will
my
be
God.
about the Wheel of Time.
Dude, that's brilliant.
Sorry, anyway, actual topic. Let's go.
But we do
So
eventually have to
actual
do a
topic.
topic on furries, which apparently we're going to argue that
Hey.
Trollocs are actually furries.
Trollocs are
Trollocs are
furries.
furries.
So say we all.
Hey,
Who wants a
belly Narg, Narg see himself as in all other ways but physical. Narg see himself as squirrel.
Narg identify as squirrel.
I know where you pulled that from. In all ways, except for physical, I am a wolf.
That's right. That's right. So
in
tonight's episode.
in all forms except physical, I am a Trolloc.
So tonight's episode,
I
we
is smart.
discuss
Narg
how does
smart.
one become an expert so quickly.
Trauma.
Become a master.
Oh,
Trauma-
sorry. Was I not supposed to?
Trauma
go ahead and say
is
the
actually
answer
one
immediately?
of the answers.
So how do I go from filthy casual to try hard in 2 years?
All right, guys. So this video is going to be about how I went from farm boy to expert in just 2 years.
The
Was it-
secret,
You can too, with the power of voices in your head and tainted sardine.
So
standing
Daniel
here
has
in my
chosen-
garage, right in front of my brand new Ashandere. You might be wondering how I was able to afford this. Secret is knowledge.
I just wish I could sit back at my forge, but I know that that can't happen. So just make sure that you try your best and never give up, but understand how the pieces go together.
Rand's in the
Oh.
background. I kill a blade master a day. That's
He
how I
does,
bought this
too.
brand new Heron Mark sword. I don't ever
People
use
just
it
throw
though.
these Heron Mark swords at my feet because they take the head off and they drop it.
Rand is now the General Grievous of Wheel of Time by taking other people's swords as
Oh
trophies.
my god. Yes, another Heron Mark for my collection.
Hello
Wait,
there.
what's,
Loose
uh,
there
what's
and
the-
shut up.
What's the guy's name? Who's the guy in the fucking Sean Chan?
Lord Turok
Who he Turok.
or Turek?
Hello there. General Tur or Blood Turok.
Blood, high blood Turok.
I love it.
I have trained in your Heron Mark arts.
More Shoddy is keeping track. Gawain is duck sauce packets, and now Rand is General Grievous.
Yes.
I love it.
With the
Daniel
same
General
vulnerabilities. If you
Grievous,
ripped
though.
his chest open and shot his lungs with a laser weapon, I'm pretty sure that he would scream and die too.
would.
I could guarantee it.
I mean,
I mean, he
I
is
don't
your
know
brother, so-
anybody.
Question.
I don't know anybody who could survive that. Just saying.
A car crash killed Lillian James Potter.
Preposterous. This is outlandish. It's a scandal.
Really? Really? A wizard has never died in a car crash? Go fuck yourself, Hagrid.
Ever. So I
That's why he
have
rides a
cho-
motorcycle.
if you guys couldn't tell, we've chosen the 3 Taviran, and we've decided for tonight's topic to discuss how does one become a country bumpkin, hay in your hair, from the middle of nowhere
Hey, we're not attacking my upbringing here. Calm
to
down,
an
Josh.
expert. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
To be a host
To an expert
of the
in everything you
Black Tower
do.
podcast.
How
To
did
be a
that go
host of the
from
Black
milking
Tower
cows every
podcast.
Wednesday night to being one of the hosts on Black Tower podcast every Wednesday
And-
night? Let me tell you my success story. I put the bucket down. I bought one of their fancy newfangled city computers, and I
put
found
the
people that would
lotion
actually
on my
talk to me.
skin.
It puts the lotion on.
Didn't
its
want to get the
skin.
hose
I
again.
get the hose again.
I have chosen.
And now I do a
to go
podcast and I never
with-
get the hose at all.
And now I hose others.
I have chosen to go with Perrin.
All right.
Well, I didn't really choose. I kind
That is one of the 2,600 named characters from the Wheel of
But
Time.
that's
So it's
okay.
a fair
Oh,
choice.
please. We all knew who
Perrin
you were going to
is-
choose, Josh.
Perrin is awesome. I'm just gonna say it. Perrin is awesome. He's a little broody. He's a little emo.
Perrin
But
is
I love
awesome.
him.
Everything
got
he
that-
does is to please fire.
He got that wolf daddy energy,
It's true. Jesus Christ.
and I'm all for it. But he does a couple of things. Well, there are three main things that I'd like to focus on when it comes to
All right. So, how to become
rising
Lord of the
to
Wolves.
expertise.
3 steps. 1, 2, 3.
One,
Let's
get
go.
golden eyes.
These are your quest.
Talk to wolves. 3, this is a segue into probably the most impressive of his mastered skills, navigating the wolf dream. And you've already been spoiled,
Riyadh.
so I can also say Teleranriad or the World of Dreams.
So look, if your condom
I
falls off or breaks, that's your
love-
fault for not noticing, not ours.
Amen,
True.
brother. Amen. I love the scene when Egwene and Perrin meet each other in the World of Dreams. That needs to be the meme. The Umbrella Academy meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Vanya
That needs
and
to happen.
number 5
Vanya
just
and
passing
number 5
each other in the
Passing
cars.
each other. Egwene in the Wolf Dream. Perrin in the Wolf Dream. Huh? But when they find each other in Wolf Dream and Egwene's like, Perrin, I don't know why you're here, but this is dangerous, so I'm going to tie you up and leave you here. Because, like,
And he's
that
like,
works out great. Thailand. And then Perrin's like,
Like you guessed,
Yeah.
you's wrong.
bitch, where? And Perrin's like, yeah, that's cute, Egwene. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but whatever. Do you, girl. I got
I don't know what the
important
fuck
shit to handle."
Teleron Riyadh is, but here in the Wolf Dream, I'm
Right?
in charge.
You in my house. You in my house, bitch. So he starts going, he just, but the thing I love is how he gets there, right? For ever since we're like book 8, he has been entering the Wolf Dream, and Hopper has been there to be like,
You're
too strong, young bull. And at numerous times, Hopper like boots him out of the dream, like yeets him out. Like, no, bro, you are here too strong. It is too dangerous for you. There's one time where Perrin is hunting Fail in the Wolf Dream, and Hopper's like, no, listen here, asshole, you're here too strong. Like, you don't get it. It's not happening. Finally, in Towers of Midnight, Perrin is like, okay, I get it. I can talk to wolves. I can enter the Wolf Dream. Hopper, please help me learn and help me understand. And Hopper kind of laughs at him and is like, you've been learning this whole time. And Perrin's like, oh yeah, I guess I have. But now I'm ready to pay attention. And Hopper's like, okay, cool. Let's do this. And starts teaching him a couple things. His ultimate goal is to go up against Lord Luke / Isom / Slayer / Luke Mantier.
Let's
Lord Luke is
throw a
Luke
meme in
Mantier.
there. Perrin literally
Slash-
used the dream to learn the dream.
Yes, he did. Nicely done, sir. I like it.
I
And-
used the dream to learn the dream.
At this point in time, Hopper does this thing where he's like, you need to learn faster. And Perrin's like, yeah, I know, I need to learn faster. And Hopper's like, I know a way. And I refer to this as the Bleach Method. If anybody's
This is
familiar
the way.
with the anime Bleach,
Mhm.
they always say,
Throw
oh
on a glove
God,
and slap him in the face.
as a soul reaper, it takes 3,000 years to learn this, but I know a shortcut that you can learn it in 3 days, but it's really hard. And this is kind of what Hopper does to Perrin. Hopper's
Except
like,
at least in Bleach, you know that it is a shitty fucking
it's true.
plot exclusion device to like
You have to,
advance a
yeah.
character because you didn't
It's-
expect them to be in the situation when you wrote it, but the situation was too badass to ignore.
Accurate. And so Hopper's like, so basically the only way to give you some power leveling in this is to throw you deep in the shit right now. And Hopper
Level
says
100 that takes you into the level 90 areas to power
Yeah.
level you as a level 5.
exactly. And Daniel, way to go, sir. That was awesome. Perfect. And Hopper says to Perrin, we're going to find a nightmare. Now, if you're familiar with the world of dreams, nightmares are terrifying. It's almost like a collective consciousness that exists.
Wait, they found Nightmare in Teleranriad?
Yes, they
Did he have his big sword with the
Yes,
eye?
he did. Totes, brah.
Down to the devil soul.
And so Perrin does some power leveling. He has a level
sorry.
100.
Did you just get possessed?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I was singing the Avenged Sevenfold Nightmare.
Which is
Can't
good.
wake up and sweating because it ain't over yet. Still dancing with your demons. Blah, blah, blah. Forgot the words.
Yeah, no. See, that's
Hell
the part
yeah.
where you got possessed.
Pretty
right.
much. Absent.
So then you've got that, and so that's kind of how Perrin does it. He kind of bypasses years of practice in a more dangerous fashion and ends up mastering the world of dreams. But it's literally your grandpa who's like, you want to learn how to swim? Yeah, I want to learn how to swim, Grandpa. And Grandpa goes, okay, and pushes you into the deep end and goes, now swim back to me.
Some things that
You're
shouldn't
like,
be used on.
I
Like
could
the
have
grandpa
drowned,
that tries to teach you
Grandpa.
about World War II by throwing grenades at you. Like, that's not recommended.
Yeah, that's.
Are you kidding? That's the
Right,
best
right.
way to learn about World War II.
You've seen the fucking video
I've
that
played
like the fucking
Battlefield. I know how they do it.
You've seen the fucking video of the grandpa that like lights the artillery style firework without the propellant that shoots it up and like literally throws it behind his shoulder, and he's got like two of his like 20 plus age grandkids, and he just walks up like a step and a half and it blows up, and he's like, another day in the life, and the kids are like, what the fuck?
Right. Then there is, so that's the first. So of the three things that Perrin mastered, that's the most, I guess that's the most like outlandish one. But then there's two others. The second one being, and I'm going back in chronological order. I'm starting from the end of the story and going back. The second one being his mastery over combat. The axe is what he uses for the first part of the story. His hammer he uses at the end of the story. Now, some people can make the case that, oh my God, he is OP because he is in like book 4. He's using his axe and he's fighting Aiel. And he's like, bam, I'm killing these motherfuckers. And two things with this. One, first off, he trains with Lan. Like, come on, dude. How can you not be super badass with Lan teaching you? And you know, that's actually a good point in our live chat that just came up. Book 1, he takes out 2 white cloaks who they're trained soldiers. And this is him training with Lan. It's the only explanation we get for why he's so proficient with an axe.
Well,
now, of course,
there are 2 others. Number 1 is that he has pretty strong Taviran armor, which is a thing, and that's definitely a thing. And I'm not saying it is.
You're right.
Of course, in book 1, he loses that fight. He absolutely kills 2 white cloaks and doesn't go on to kill
He does
all
get
of
captured.
the rest of the white cloaks.
He does get captured.
And they
You are
don't
correct.
murder him on sight. Therefore, Taviran plot armor. But at the same time, the other thing is that one of the things that's true, and this is absolutely just to support you, because support here at the Black Tower.
Because the Black Tower podcast, we're all about supporting each other.
Indeed. Is the fact
And
that
united. X-Force.
one of the very first things that you learn about Perrin is that he is a fast learner, and once you teach him something, he remembers it.
He's wicked.
And so
smart.
that training with Lan sinks in immediately.
Yes.
He is one of the fastest learners of everyone on the sort of Emond Field 5 side, because he's so fucking deliberate.
And he's the most scared of the three.
Yes.
Also true.
He's like, if I forget something, I die, so I must remember it all. Let's forge it into my brain. Give me the hammer.
Which leads me to my third point.
I can fix it.
His expertise as a blacksmith. This is probably the most organic or attained up to this point, because Master Luhan was an expert blacksmith teaching Perrin. Perrin, being so deliberate, honing these skills of deliberation and understanding from his youth, was able to retain the lessons, as you guys said, almost perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that
of
he's
course,
been a Taviran his whole life. Like, I don't
Well,
think
it
that
is
just
attention to
kicked up.
detail. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to pay attention to. I mean, it's subtle details. Like there are blacksmiths that and I learned this when I was starting to learn stuff about knife making, heat treating, that they don't use fancy thermometers or set temperature forges. They literally will burn like not charcoal, but the more like pure form.
Coke.
And they will burn coke.
Cocaine.
It's
So,
it's actually
calm
what they
down.
call it when you're doing a
Yes.
charcoal forge. You get it's a substance that is, as I understand it, it is basically between like glass and charcoal. It's
I think
so
so.
hot. It's like a molten form of charcoal. It's harder and lighter than charcoal.
All right, guys, let's
And-
go do this forging. We got the coke, and,
And-
we're gonna go hit them with a hammer.
And it burns hotter than charcoal. Anyway, sorry, go
But
ahead.
anyway, no, you're right, and I'm glad you added that. But like, they don't gauge whether the metal is at the heat level it needs to be heat treated, based off of like a thermometer or anything like that. You know, they look at the color of it and the different hues of how bright or dull the orange is,
Yes.
and that tells you whether it's ready to be quenched or not to be hardened for the amount of carbon that's in it. And before that, you have to have a rough understanding. I mean, these guys, we're talking medieval times. They're not going to sit there and be like, well, I use this because it has approximately 85% carbon. Like, no, they're like, I have used this before. And it makes swords that rival even King Arthur. Like,
Right.
God,
They just-
all of our modern people
experience.
sound like such hard raging nerds.
I mean,
'Cause
that's what they would
I
call
use
us,
this.
honestly.
They were
use
nerds.
this
That's how they got
because-
so good at
because
it.
it's 80%
Because
carbon.
we can test stuff now to see if it's what we want. Those guys,
true.
like back
No,
in the
it's
day, it was just a use of material over and over. They would
That's
give
right.
business to people that supplied metal ore because
Yes.
not because they give higher carbon ore, but because the ore they supply, when refined, when put into a
Exactly.
sword, makes a stronger, better sword. It was all
Right.
experience.
Mhm.
But it's
Well,
that
and-
attention to detail that they have to pay attention to, like when you're heating it, how it's heating. Do you have dead spots in the heat? Because
Yep.
that's an impurity in the metal. The amount of detail that had to go into being a master of the forge, because it was pretty clear that he might not have been a master, but by the time Perrin leaves Emond's Field, he is a very accomplished and skilled blacksmith. I always think kind of
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean, the Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah, exactly.
he's-
I think
he's
that's
like that guy, but-
fantastic.
Well, way back in like older times, like I mean,
Yeah.
they're still pirates, give me your booty, but
It's funny
Yeah,
because
you
in
want
that
that booty.
story, Orlando Bloom was so much better than his master.
Exactly, though. Exactly.
I
those
train
are-
3 hours a day so that when I meet a pirate, I can kill him.
But that's for Perrin,
Should've
like
trained
he
longer.
has like some pretty impressive training regiments
You cheated.
that
attention
give
to detail,
him
man.
the mastery that he requires towards the end of the story.
Yes.
Think about
No,
it.
and
Who's
that's-
going to pick up the
that's
stuff?
actually
The person
another-
that looks for the minute stuff, or the person that just doesn't even notice?
Exactly.
Who detects the IED? The person that notices the slightly disturbed earth, or notices the wire, notices this.
Exactly.
Not the person that's sitting there and like, oh no, the road looks normal because everything's sand and it's all sand, and I go home in 3 weeks. Fuck me. No,
Yeah,
it's the guy in the
it's
other
true.
seat that's only been there like 2 weeks and says, "There's a wire over there. It goes to here. There's
some
disturbed earth.
shit.
We need to stop. There's an IED."
That's right.
And suddenly the guy
That's
that's
right.
about to go home in 3 weeks is like, "Thank you for saving my life."
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's
And we
accurate.
also have the just strength ability because, like, granted, this is a medieval farming community. Every single one of the, 16 to 40-year-old men in this town are very capable. They're all strong. They have some serious stamina. Absolutely, without a doubt, they are able to do certain things. That being said, of all of the people in the village, who are the strongest people?
Physically strongest.
Master Luhan.
Yep.
Perrin Ibarra, Mistress Luhan. That's it. That's number 1, 2,
so physically strongest, not the most enduring.
In that order.
Yes, but I'm talking about physically strong. And so when you combine Perrin's deliberate nature and his mentality
I've dropped my feather, please help. Perrin's just like, I got it.
Right. He picks up the minute details of things. He has been doing this for years at this point. He has been a blacksmith's apprentice for years, so he has the muscle mass to back up the mental acuity that he has gone ahead and put into. Once you start actually teaching him what moves to use with that axe,
that's right.
Holy shit. You have all of the makings of a warrior there. You just need to tell him what to do.
Doesn't he even remark at how remarkably easy he finds it for the Half Moon blade to slice through flesh? And that's part of what starts his whole I don't really like this thing. It's this thing. It's like, no, dude, it's because you're fucking jacked. And if it was in any other age, we'd say steroids. But now we say blacksmith.
Not only that, but Master Luhan is the one who made it. And the White Cloaks even comment that this is amazingly well crafted.
Oh, it's 100%. I know that it came after. Actually, I don't know that it came after. Hold on. Let me look that up. But in The Princess Bride, there's that wonderful line about, Inigo Montoya, Domingo Montoya's father making this amazing sword. And it always reminded me of that because it's like the same story of how Perrin gets the axe, is that Master Luhan gets an order to make this dope as fuck axe. He makes this dope as fuck axe that is super awesome. And then the guy comes along and goes, no, I'll pay you half for it. And he goes, cool, go fuck yourself. Now, granted, in this story, that guy doesn't then murder Master Luhan
no, he does not.
Stab his son in the cheeks twice and then leave. But still, again, up to a certain point, it's the exact same fucking story. And
so the fun part about that is I've taken intro to blacksmith classes, and I love blacksmithing. I'm fascinated.
What haven't
by
you
it.
fucking done, Josh?
I love.
Okay, by the way, I take it back.
There's an adage.
I think I'm going to say with relative certainty that Robert Jordan took that from Princess Bride, because the book was published in 1973. Nice. Not the movie. I'm sure that he didn't take it from the movie, because the movie postdates his 1991 release.
We'll allow you that.
The Eye of the World, but the book is like 20 years earlier.
There's everybody an should have asked RJ that nobody ever did. Did you love Princess Bride? Which I assume the response would be something along the intellectual lines of "Fuck yes, I did."
Yes, I agree. There's an old adage.
Did you
when
even
it comes...
read The Wheel of Time? Because if you did, you would know that I love the Princess.
There's an anecdote with blacksmiths, and I'll close out my Perrin power leveling montage with this, and that is that blacksmiths go to hell for two reasons. One, hitting metal that's not hot enough, and two,
hitting metal that's too hard,
not charging enough for their work. So Master Luhan is a blacksmith who is not going to hell.
Is that why Perrin never hits Fael, because she's not hot enough? It was too easy. I had to.
Holy shit!
You fucking killed her, dude.
Fael is never going to recover from that burn. Dude, get Nynaeve to heal her immediately. Holy shit.
To be abundantly clear, here's the disclaimer. I'm not saying that you should hit people based on their hotness or anything else. But it was
We
too
here at the Black
golden.
Tower do not condone the hitting of anyone for any reason, unless they are a dark friend.
Oh shit!
But it was two golden eyes of an opportunity to ignore.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Why won't you hit
All
me?
right.
The metal's not hot enough.
Whew.
Imagine
All right, so
that's like a world-class
okay.
burn right there on
that was so good.
Andrew,
I think oh my god, we've got our
That
new
was-
sticker.
that was a good burn, and I think you get to go next because that was
Yeah,
that
we
was
have
too
our new
good.
sticker.
a new
Oh.
sticker.
See, this is what happens.
Bail's not hot enough to hit.
when you finally hashtag embrace the taint, you finally take and random things come and the filter between brain and mouth stops as much and you just say things that are funny-ish.
It's true.
I don't know.
It's very true.
All right. So
Uh,
since Josh took Perrin, I am going to take Matt and run away and exploit his luckiness for the remainder of my life. Especially as I await for the VA to assess my disabilities. Come on,
Jesus.
Lucky Sevens.
all right. This got really real, guys.
So, Matt, when we first meet Matt, obviously we know it's he shows up with Rand. He's like, "Hey, got a badger in a sack. I'm gonna let it loose on the green to scare the girls." Already, tactician. Guys thinking strategy. He's like, "Okay, here's the objective I want. I want to make girls scream. I want us all to have a laugh. What I got to do? I got to catch a badger. What do I need to catch a badger? I need to put it in a sack. I got to find bait. I got to find a badger wherever the fuck they are because the wolves are eating everything right now. It's not wolves. It's not really."
I mean,
So he does all this and he catches a fucking badger. And we all know that at least honey badgers don't give a fuck. But Matt still manages to catch one.
and we all know that we've interviewed that particular badger.
That's true.
And he doesn't give a fuck
of that
either.
badger's soul.
Yeah, no, it is a reincarnation. It is the badger reborn. And he didn't give a fuck. So
This is very true. Especially in part one. With no
oh
headphones.
my god, part one.
Love you,
was
Badger.
Super out of
Love you, badger. Oh no, everything was like fucking dope. And honestly, like this is very Matt-esque. Because the lack of headphones while we were recording it, we couldn't hear that you could hear us through Badger's speakers. In the recordings, I
yet.
could, but it served a purpose, like every good Badger related to Matt does. And it helped me with editing and making sure things were in the right spot. So kudos to you for even when it wasn't optimal, it still served an incredible purpose that helped me out so much with the first ever video editing I have
Oh, Matt.
seriously done. But so the way I like to think about Matt, when I think about him as how does Farm Boy Matt, how does Emond Field Matt transform into Last Battle Matt? How do we get from the guy that has both of his eyes, doesn't care about women, only wants to fuck shit up, not fuck shit up. That doesn't mean they're
also
that
fuck
doesn't
shit.
mean no. That
he
doesn't.
also wants to fuck shit.
I mean, he wants to fuck shit, but I'm like saying like not when
In
I
fact,
say
he
fuck shit
wants
up.
to seems to want to fuck all shits.
I mean, what I'm saying is like the fuck shit up. I don't mean that like they're just riding
Yes.
on top. Like he's just,
Yes.
he just wants to have fun. He wants to play pranks. He wants to do whatever. That's his niche.
Yes.
And the thing about that I've learned from my experience going through elementary, middle, and high school, in the American school system, even college, is that to be a prankster, you have to be very innovative. You have to be very creative. You have to have these mental kind of attributes because you come up with this and everybody's like, "Oh, dude, that's crazy. I would have never thought about that. You're so wild. Oh, give me another Bud Light." Because I'm basic.
Well, and also, like, again, you bring up a really good point there. How many people on April 1st every year think that they have amazingly good April Fool's jokes that are just lame as
They
shit,
fall flat.
that are so dumb?
Speaking
Like,
about
let
that,
me
the
pretend
fake
to be
pregnancy or the
pregnant
fake
for-
cheating,
Ugh.
the fake pregnancy or the fake cheating, that's lame as shit, and
Yeah,
you will burn in
stop
the
it.
10th ring to hell for it.
Stop doing
That's
it.
fucked up.
It's true.
Don't play
Stop
with people's
it.
emotions like
Not
that.
only that,
Because
like this actually.
I would
brings
break up
a
with you
really
just
good
because
point.
I knew you were fucking around with me like that. Like, no, you don't have to fuck around on me. But if you're fucking with me like that, we're done.
Right?
Because that means that you think our relationship is a fucking joke. Go ahead, Josh. Or as your shirt says, Jeff.
This actually says Fet.
I'm going to say Jeff. I choose Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
So go ahead,
And
Boba.
Fet.
There's a difference between
Wait, are you Boba or
prank
Django?
and something that's hurtful. And I see these prank videos on YouTube. It's like best prank compilations. And I'm like, okay, no. That's not a prank. That's being an asshole. Like I saw one, it was like the dude like buttered the floor of their kitchen. Okay, cool. That's funny because they fall.
Okay.
Hopefully they don't hurt themselves, but that's kind of funny. And then proceeded to pour a pitcher of urine on this person and then slap them in the face with flour. I'm like, okay, not a prank. That's just being
urine,
an
are we
asshole.
talking like legit urine, like man-made
legit
urine, synthetic
like,
urine, or are we talking Budweiser?
They
You
they
mean PBR?
in the video they pranked.
That's even worse.
They stated that it was
urine.
their personal urine that they had utilized.
Gross.
So the person who
that's
did
just
that
being
from
an
the Black
asshole.
Tower podcast, go fuck yourself in the asshole with a frozen your own urine dildo.
No.
In the ass
No.
with the Black Tower.
No, go fuck yourself in the ass with a soaked corn cob.
I feel like we now have an obligation. I feel like we now have an obligation to create a marital aid called the Black Tower.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is cool because
The black rod.
It'll be sold on baddragon.com.
Hey, we've already got the red rod. I keep meaning to do a box opening of that and an unboxing of that.
To be fair, Nablus has the red rod.
Well, he sent it to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. He sent
That's
you
why
his red
Josh
rod.
now has
He
it.
did. I now have a red rod. I think he can make copies though, because he's a sick perv. Just kidding, Nablus. We love you. You're awesome.
Yeah, he's a good
And
Anyway.
when we post the description for this show, I'm going to tag him. I'm going to say we totally did not call Nablus a sick perv.
But yeah, no,
you're not wrong. We did not.
absolutely love, because again, Matt seems to come up with good pranks.
He does because he's smart. He's clever.
Matt's smart.
He's wily. He's intelligent.
He has
Matt
that mentality for
Smart.
creativity, for thinking
Yes.
out of the box.
Out of the box. It's been great to play
Oh
and sing
my God.
together in the box, but now it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah,
I need
that's-
to get the
that's
clapping
awesome.
in there.
I mean, and so we meet Matt, and initially it's all bow. You have Rand with the sword, you have Perrin with the half moon axe, and then you have Matt with the bow, just fucking nailing Trollocs in the fucking eye as fast as he can rob under the shit. It probably
Bam.
looked exactly like this. This is proper bow form. I know
that
you
is
guys
that
can't
is
see it.
legitimately exactly what he looks like.
Bobbing my head like I'm and pulling string. Yeah. Anyway,
Two ring.
That's
Two
that's
River
how I
Sniper.
look when I'm playing Quiver, which is a great game.
Oh my
by the
God,
way.
that's such a good game.
Dude, it's such a good game. Do you have it?
I don't, but I think
Is this something
is it
that
on
I'm
PlayStation
too-
or is it only on Steam?
I think it's on both. I have it on PlayStation.
If it's
Is this
on
a game that I'm
PlayStation,
too
then I
poor to
need
Steam
buy
by?
it.
If so, I think that it's actually very inexpensive, but you do need a VR headset because it's VR.
Yeah, I'm
Daniel,
too poor to
why aren't
understand.
we friends on PlayStation?
I don't know. How did this happen?
Okay, I just
PlayStation.
anyway. So back to Matt, but I just posted my PlayStation in the Discord. So
Yep.
back to Matt. So he's a badass with cleverness. He's a badass with a bow.
But
And
we see him move from weapon to weapon. This is the only person we see truly change the nature of their main weapon. Matt transitions from the bow to a fucking filthy ass dagger as like main weapons. Like we don't. I mean, Rand has a bow. We don't ever really see him use it. He mentioned something about thinking about using it. But
No, he actually
doesn't.
uses it very successfully against
He
the
uses
golem, and Celine is very upset because she
Well-
wants him to run, and he's like, "No, I'll just kill
Okay,
him."
yeah,
We
you're
need
right.
to
And she's
You're
just
right.
like,
that's-
"Bitch,
that's
I
small.
will call more golem."
That
We
small
need-
section, we do see Rand use a bow effectively,
Correct.
which just proves that he's no less than. Because at the same time, later on in the series, we get the entire Emond Field boys, as in
Boys.
their teenage to adult population, shown to be very, very capable with a bow. It's a necessity of the life you live. And as Moraine would
And
say,
that's
it's some
why-
lefts, and like we say now that climbing Mount Everest is some leftover monkey shit.
You're right.
From like evolution from primates. We see the same thing in Emond's Field. Is some leftover Manetheren shit. They just all happen to be descendants of archers.
By the way, sorry, Morshada, you just made a good point. The Golem is definitely something different. The Grom were what I was talking about.
All right, so the Grom.
But also,
anyway.
so at the beginning, we actually do see Matt talk about having and not getting a chance to show us, because he does actually use the bow all the way up until he hits the dagger. But he does talk about being very good with a quarterstaff, as is his father, which we actually also hear about, though don't see either.
Yeah.
But it's talked about that the Coffin boys are all real good with a quarterstaff.
Yeah, I mean, we finally
Because-
do see it when he's in Tar Valon and absolutely
Correct.
erases Galad and Galwin.
Correct.
Daddy Coffin
Wins the quarterstaff.
He wins the
competition
quarterstaff
every goddamn
competition
year.
every year.
And Tam wins the archery contest every year.
Every
And if they
year.
had a sword contest, Tam Althor would win
yeah,
that too.
Tam, not Taim.
Probably the only one with an actual
Tam
sword.
Althor.
Yeah,
I don't know. There are a few others who
No, they
pull it
talk
out
about-
when they come back and
swords and halberds.
Nope.
Yeah, swords and
I
halberds.
reject your reality and substitute my own.
All right.
So now
Well, yeah,
there
all right,
is
so fair. But we get to see the transition because whenever
Yes,
they're
I will
running
not
from the
argue with
Trollocs,
that.
when they're running from the Trollocs, it's Matt with the bow. He's playing supporter role, long range attack.
yes.
It's Perrin with his.
Wait, is he their DPS?
I mean, depending
He's-
on how fast
he's
he can
their-
draw, yeah.
He's ranged DPS.
He'd be a higher DPS than Perrin is, not initially, but long haul, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Perrin's their tank, clearly.
Yeah. And Rand is just the guy trying to level up.
Bam.
So jungle.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Rand is the jungle.
So,
But
Matt,
he
Lon
moves,
is their
he moves from this,
assassin.
and because of reasons that are not necessarily because of a better fit in weaponry, but because of taint, not to be confused with the Sidene taint, but more the more death taint, more the Shutter Logoth taint transitions to a bladed weapon to a dagger. And that's what he wants to use as much as he can after he comes into possession with it. You don't see him pulling a bow or anything. I mean, in most of the situations we actually physically see him in, they're not bow conducive.
I don't think he
Correct.
actually kills anybody with the dagger, though.
Mm,
I think the only person who actually kills anyone with the dagger is Padon Fane.
if I remember correctly, there's actually a dark friend that they kill with in the Great Hunt. I remember there being a person that he kills, not the lady who's in the stable, because she also has a blade that almost kills them in a very
Right.
similar way
I know she
to
had
the
a cursed
dagger, but
blade.
I distinctly remember there being a person that that gets killed by the dagger, and it's a horrible death.
Right.
And that's kind of like, it kind of shocks them into not doing it to anything
okay.
else.
Maybe I'm missing
And then, of
that.
course, later on, Podon Fane is like, I'm going to just horrible death everybody. Yeah.
Well, and then I know that actually probably gives Matt a little bit of help when he gets his Ashandarai, because the Ashandarai is basically a quarterstaff with a big ass knife on the end of it. And they even talk about him sort of
Probably
adjusting his
a
style.
little about the size of the dagger, to be clear.
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably a little bit longer. But yeah, but essentially the same type of thing. So
Yeah. It's basically
able
like
to
a quarter
tap
staff with a red
into-
ruby dagger on the end.
yeah. Oh my God. Terrifying. No, but he then of course he gets, all the memories of the generals. I think he's the only one that kind of gets, well, no, him and Rand kind of get an unfair power up. Perrin's the only one that really has to work for it.
I argue with that, and we'll get into this a little bit more when sort of I talk about Rand, which I might start in just a second.
I was about to say, I think I don't think there's anything else to
correctly,
really cover with Matt.
Lose Theron isn't actually a thing.
Right.
It's all Rand. All of it is Rand. Now, granted, again, he does have the fact that he is reborn as the dragon, and there are certain memories and things like that. I'm not saying that that's not true, but everything he attributes to Luz Theron is just him.
And that is confirmed. Him. That is confirmed by Robert Jordan.
Yes. Yeah.
And
that's not just like a thing that I'm pulling out of my butthole. That's a thing.
I think that was one of the real shocker moments in the fan community, that no, Luz Theron is dead. Luz Theron does not exist save in the physical form of Rand al'Thor.
Yes.
Rand al'Thor is his own
You can
person.
Absolutely make the argument that Luz Theron, the voice in Rand's head, does actually know some things that Rand doesn't. And so there is sort of a thought process here that, like, again, Luz Theron and the voice that Luz Theron has in Rand's head is created by Rand.
Yes.
But a manifestation of the things about Rand that are the dragon reborn, and therefore certain things that Rand shouldn't necessarily know, but does because reincarnation.
Honestly, we could do an entire I could talk
by
myself for an entire episode simply on the nature of the relationship between Rand and the voice in Rand's head.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean,
we should do that. I will touch on it because it is a piece.
Putting it on the list right now.
Done. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk about Rand for a second, because again, all of these gentlemen, all three of them, do start in sort of the same place. They all have slightly different lives, but they're all Emond Fielders. They're all from the Two Rivers. They're all farmers to a certain extent. I mean, you know that before he became a blacksmith's apprentice, it even talks about the fact that the Ibaras are farmers.
Yes.
So Perrin was absolutely helping with farming before he ended up going and working for Master Luhan. Matt, same thing. He is a little bit of a fuck up, so I'm pretty much guaranteed that like there are a number of days that he's supposed to be working out in the fields that he doesn't.
But he's a fuck up because he's a rascal, not because he's dumb or incapable.
Yeah, no, yes, indeed. He chooses to be a fuck up. It is not any inherent deficiency that he has. But he chooses to be a fuck up because he just doesn't want. He wants more than this provincial town. There must be more than this provincial town.
So Matt is Bell.
Yes, 100%. And so Rand, again, he is probably the one who is the strongest farmer type, because there's just him and his dad. The entire point of his existence is to help his father in some ways with the farm. That is one of the reasons that Tam has kids. I mean, he doesn't actually have Rand, but he takes Rand and he brings him back to the Two Rivers, basically in some ways to save his life, but also to help on the farm, because that's how things work in Emond Field.
Right.
And so again, all three of these gentlemen start in basically the same place. They're all farm boys. They're all from the same town. They all leave, and not almost immediately, I think the others actually sort of fall into their roles as what they're going to be quicker, because again, Perrin Ibarra just learns how to use his axe and becomes a great fighter, like right off
pretty quickly,
right off the bat. And Rand and Matt are both doing their best, and they're not bad at it, but they're not as good as Perrin is, as far as my reading goes.
Yeah, I think Perrin picked it up quicker because of what we said. He has to learn it the first time, every time. Period. End of story.
Yep.
Rand, I think, gets more intensive training sessions because he's got a sword. Lon's got a sword
with his father, so I do feel like he trained very hard with it.
Right.
But it's not as much a natural talent as Perrin is, because I think that Perrin just sort of has all of the tools to be really good at it from the get-go.
He's got
and
skills
Lon just
to pay
makes
the bills.
him really good. And then, of course, they hit Shadar Logoth. Matt gets the dagger. Shit starts popping off in his life basically from that point on. Rand is the one who sort of like discovers all his bullshit the latest, mostly because he won't admit it. Like there's stuff that happens earlier because again he goes ahead and uses the same power ability. I mean, like I neglect to say like weaves. He uses the same weaves that Moraine uses on the horses and the people on Bella, and he just doesn't fucking know it.
Unintentionally, subconsciously.
He's just going along, and until you really hit Four Kings, that is the point where Rand really actually, I think, starts to realize something's wrong. Again, he still doesn't admit it to himself until much later. But that's when I think he really starts to realize that things are different.
Well, I would even say this because there's a lot of comments that could be made on Rand's ability to use Weaves of Saidin completely untrained.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've thought a lot about this because this is actually one thing that I really hate in storytelling and in these story tropes and things like that is the natural talent. I hate natural talent. But in this case, Robert Jordan has done an amazing job of weaving natural talent into the story because Rand is not Rand. Rand is the dragon, a hero of legend, a person so prolific and amazing that the wheel, that the creator, that the serpent that turns the great wheel of time has deemed that this is a person who needs to be significant in the pattern. And I will weave this person in and out. He is now a hero of the pattern. Now that
you mean like how Matt is Arthur Hawkling?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can have that. That's another episode.
Wait, are you saying that at FOMA, like the time where like Matt comes face to face with Arthur Hawkling, it's like looking in a mirror?
What language are we speaking, Horns?
I don't know.
Whoa.
No, but Rand is a hero of the ages. So I would make the case.
I do have a serious question about that, but that's best saved for later.
If his proficiency with Saidin has less to do with his knowledge and understanding of Saidin and more to do with his thousands upon thousands of years of muscle memory. Or
yes and no.
Channeling energy memory.
Absolutely say without a doubt that there's a lot of stuff that Rand does that he shouldn't be able to do the first time. Now, I will say that Rand does actually show an incredible affinity, and Asmodean actually even comments on it, that once Rand sees something, he can just do it. It just takes once of him seeing it, but there are many cases where Rand does something for the first time that he absolutely has no basis of knowing. Like when he holds open Avienda's gateway.
I was just going to go there.
Like all of these different things. And so I absolutely agree that both there's a number of muscle memory kind of like knee-jerk reaction things that the Dragon Reborn
Right.
can do that other power wielders would just be fucked as far
Almost
as
like
being
an
able to.
unconscious bias.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost.
And so again, I think that really, if
So
we're
what
being
we're doing is
completely
we're taking
honest,
Soul Eater and we're adding in, instead of Soul Resonance, you now have Soul Memory. Do some random shit
Basically.
that I don't know that you're going to do, and you don't know what you're going to do, but it's going to happen.
But
yeah,
it
basically,
don't
I'm going to say
happen.
that, just as Perrin had sort of the three basic pieces that made him really good and brought him from farm boy to wolf king extraordinaire, I would say that there are three things that make Rand from farm boy to dragon, last battle dragon. And that is
We asked
trauma.
1,000 people what was their top 3 things that made Rand the Dragon of Born.
Show
number
me
one-
channeling muscle memory.
Well, number
Outdoor
one
family,
is
you have
I
first
think
go.
that it's trauma. I actually think that it's trauma is the thing that the most makes Rand from the country boy
Salesman
to the dragon reborn, because
slaps the
it
top of the
is
dragon. You can fit so much
so
trauma
much
in
trauma
here.
in this.
Oh.
Because honestly,
oh, no.
there is so much of what Rand does from beginning to end that is just, I have to do this. I do not have a choice. Bad things are either going to happen or have already happened because I need to do this thing or I haven't done this thing in the past.
Well, what does trauma
And
create?
so,
Trauma creates desperation, it
Trauma
creates
card.
fear, and it creates guilt. Because a lot of victims
Sure.
of trauma feel like somehow I did something. This is what's so hard for people that have trauma to deal with the trauma. Somehow, something I
This is
did
my
put me,
fault.
at least put me in the situation. Somehow,
Yes.
to some level, this is my fault. Because your brain, the human brain is wired to think, what could I have done differently to be out of this
it's wired
situation?
for solutions, not
Yeah.
for acceptance.
Then you have the
Exactly.
desperation.
Exactly.
What can I do to get beyond this, to get out of this, to be away from this? And the fear. What if none of those happens? What if I can't figure out what I did to put myself there or to be in this situation, or what I could have done differently? And what if I can't get out of it?
Yep.
Which is, we talked about in the YouTuber panel about like Zen Rand, and it's not actually an accurate by term definition of Rand, but it's the quote unquote Zen Rand, as we refer to as a phantom, is a lot of a Rand
Accepting Rand.
that deals with his trauma.
Yes.
And it's finally like one of those things like, there's nothing I could have done to not be the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
They were going to put me in a fucking box.
Hey-o.
Still twitches at the box, but so I mean, like, trauma is terrible.
No one puts the dragon in a corner.
as terrible as trauma is.
Actually, I do, because I'm her father. Who are you? How old are you? Like 40?
As terrible as trauma is, there's almost no greater motivator, because it encompasses fear, desperation, and guilt.
Yes. And to be fair, Rand does not seem to find himself in the same situation twice. Hardly ever. And when he does, he almost always has a different reaction. He does not fall into the insanity trope of no, every time I'm in this situation, I'm just going to put in the same effort and get the same result and be angry.
Kind of to a degree he does, not en masse. It's not always the exact same situation, but there comes a point in Rand's life where the solution, no matter what the problem is
Balefire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it always works.
Here's this burning. I mean, don't get
I'm
me
sorry.
wrong.
When does it not work? When does it not make the problem
it's
better?
Balefire. When can it fail? If you balefire yourself in the face, that's when it fails. But then you balefire yourself back before you failed. Like,
Yeah, now you've just made a complete and utter paradox.
balefire.
But anyway.
That's why balefire is so banned and so feared. Not
Yes.
I mean, yes, because men went crazy and they fucking channeled balefire, and they fucking went fucking modern leader of Syria, his father, on an entire city and turned it into a glass floor. Like,
Okay.
yes, but
Natron's
balefire
Barrow.
doesn't fail because
Natrim's turkey.
because for the most part, I'm gonna say the most part, and you guys know why I say most part, and we can talk about why I say most part because we did full spoiler warning. Balefire doesn't lose unless it meets anti-Balefire.
Yes.
Or it's in the dream world.
But anyway, so that's number one is trauma. He actually seems to really learn from his mistakes because they affect him so
Eventually.
deeply that he starts to go ahead and go, all right, cool. I need to not be traumatized as much.
He's like
So I'm gonna
secondhand
do stuff.
serenade era emo. The best
and
thing
number-
about tonight's that we're not fighting. Could it be that we have been this way before? I hope you don't think that I am trying.
Oh, God.
I know
All right.
you're wearing loose therein down the core.
Okay.
What's-
so number
what's
two
the
is
next-
definitely the fact that he is a hero reborn. And
Yes.
that helps tremendously. He definitely, obviously, there are people in the world who absolutely go against that with every fiber of their being. But if we're being honest,
time keeps on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow.
I don't know who I'll be tomorrow. Wheel of time keeps on turning.
Listen, Josh, you got to stop making my singing voice look bad. All right, I'm trying to get signed.
I
But
don't
if I
know.
get signed by
I
this-
don't know.
I don't know
I'm-
who I'll be tomorrow. Dude, that is a
was
straight up
perfect.
legit Wheel of Time song.
That's-
reference.
It is.
I feel like they had to
That's
read
great.
the Wheel of Time to like make that lyric. But I mean, they say the will in the sky.
You can't
So,
vocally compete with
just
Steve
FYI,
Perry, though.
Journey,
I'm just
Journey,
saying, no
and
one
that
can.
song predates the Wheel of Time.
We're not
Yeah,
going to care.
um,
They read the notes before Robert Jordan ever read them.
Robert Jordan inspired Journey.
Maybe
He went to them
Steve
and said,
Perry
"Hey guys,
was a time traveler."
But
you-
anyway,
You guys.
Yeah.
hey, you guys,
Keep
I got
interrupting me,
this
Daniel.
idea for this great song. It's called the Wheel of Time.
And
We're
then
gonna
Steve
change
Perry
it to
was
a
like,
wheel in the sky. All right.
have a wheel in the sky. So number two,
yeah.
he's a hero reborn.
Yes,
He's
and
actually
of course-
probably got a benefit there too, because he's one of the few heroes of the Horn who know that he's a hero.
I don't think
of
he's
the Horn.
attached to the horn.
I don't think he's attached to. I would agree. He's attached. In my mind, he's attached to the wheel. There's a level of importance
I
above
will
heroes of the
fight
horn.
you on this because
I mean,
Elon.
you're fine because
slash
whenever the horn was
Ishamael
blown, I didn't see fucking
slash- because he was already
I didn't see-
reborn.
Lose Theron. But here, no,
He
we
was
already made the
already there.
argument. Hold on,
And
I
they
said I
even
wasn't
looked
gonna
at him
say
and
it.
they were like, "Oh, hello, Luz Theron.
I
It's
said we already
lovely
made the
to see
argument.
you."
I said I wasn't going to bring up the discussion, but because we're now talking kind of about it, we talk about Matt being a reincarnation of Arthur Hawkwing. Then why do we see Matt blow the horn and Arthur Hawkwing shows up?
That's a fan
See?
theory. That is not
See?
confirmed.
No. You're not wrong.
The
Looney
easy
Theory
counter is he had his
Thursday.
memories. Hold on. The easy counter is, well, he had some of Arthur Hawkwing's memories, but was not Arthur Hawkwing himself reincarnated.
He did not have Arthur Hawkwing's memories.
He did
had
not.
memories of
Of fighting alongside,
alongside-
and against.
Well, then
Yes.
I missed the point entirely, and I blame that entirely on myself. And how
By the
dare
way,
you not hold me accountable for that?
Andrew,
Hashtag blame the tape.
I actually totally agree with you because I think that while again it is also a fan theory that Ulver is Guidal Kane. Guidal
not.
Kane is absolutely fucking there when
Is
they
that the
blow the
ugly guy?
horn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
He's
but they
absolutely
still-
fucking
he
there
is. He
with
can't
lose
Birgitta at
Theron.
Valma
Can't be.
when Ulver would absolutely be
can't,
alive.
He can't be Guidal Kane because
Why?
he's not.
Birgitta talks about speaking with Guidal Kane after the events of Falma.
Yes.
But leading up, there was no way that a naturally reborn Guidal Kane
Yes.
would be the age of
Robert
Oliver
Jordan-
to be the reborn soul of Guidal Kane.
Robert Jordan has confirmed
Unless
Oliver
souls
is
take over
not Guidal Kane.
Ulver is Guidal Kane.
No, he's not.
I mean, your headcanon stands. I'm not gonna destroy
I'm
your
sorry.
headcanon.
Excuse me, the amount of times that they say Ulver is an ugly little bitch means
I get
he's
it.
Guidal King.
You know how
I
many
get
times
it.
people in my childhood call me an ugly little bitch? Doesn't
Yeah,
mean
you
I'm
are
Guidal
Guidal Kane.
Yeah, you're Guidal Kane.
Oh
Welcome.
shit! All right. Eventually, I'm gonna meet some badass archer
you're a-
woman.
Yeah,
Where
you're
is
a
she?
goddamn hero.
I'm
of the whole-
27.
Fucking-
The
Maybe
times are
you'll meet
counting
her
down.
at the
Let's go.
Gathering Madness.
Oh,
You know how ironic it's gonna be if there's a female that competes in the archery competition at the
I
Gathering
hope.
Madness.
I hope.
But since
that
you've segued
happens.
into that,
I will
I
say
said
this.
it wouldn't necessarily be at the end, but I'm gonna go ahead and segue into this announcement, guys. We've been working on something for months.
Dum,
And I will tell you right now, it is not. It is not 100% perfect.
I'm giving you some drama music.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
I
very
got distracted
distracting.
by the static.
God damn it.
But guys, we've been working on something for several months, something that we wanted to have ready for you guys, something we wanted to have ready for people that enjoy the Black Tower podcast. And so what we did with nobody can be given more credit than a certain Oshaman's wife can. And that is, of course, Adrian, Madam Sorvan Mahale. She did so much work, and this came up when we were planning the Gathering Madness. We've been working on it since before the announcement of the Gathering Madness. And when I say we, I mean 99.99% Josh and Adrian, his lovely, lovely wife, who makes some dope ass crystal shit. If you haven't checked out the Crystal Barista, you need to.
She's
because the
amazing.
shit's fucking dope.
Agreed.
It's fucking crazy. I
Dude,
would have
it's a
bought shit
bar?
from her.
it's crystals. How can you go wrong?
But we have created a website finally for the Black Tower podcast. It is www.blacktowerpod.com.
Bam!
This is a place you can go. You can create your own user account. You can follow other users. You can follow threads. We have everything from a link to listen now, which takes you straight to our Podbean hosting site. We have a link that talks about getting involved with the community. That's one of the pages we're still kind of working on because HTML spacing can be weird from time to time because of things we use. But
Agreed.
it has a running Twitter feed of different things we tweet about, as well as the Facebook tower and the Instagram from home to talk about our stuff. There's
All
a whole
of our social medias.
yeah, there's a whole
Social
forum
medias.
there where you can create and we can engage in discussions. You can follow the sections you want to follow. You can follow the threads that you want to follow. And at the end of the day, if you're like, hey, I feel so alone, who else is here? You can literally, after creating an account, you can log in and look at who else are members of the blacktowerpod.com or
The
Black
cool
Tower
thing
Pod.
is, we're going to have our own discussion forums. We have our own discussion forums on this website. And if you guys register on the website, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a discussion forum for the pre-show and for the show. Now, if you're a patron of the show, you get access to the pre-show, right? Which is
Yeah.
cool, which is awesome. And if you're a patron of the show, you get to tune in live. Now, if you're not a patron of the show, that's totally okay. You get to participate in the conversations on the forum still.
Do you
Correct.
boo-boo, but we got a place for you.
Being a patron gives you that first early access to that content.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're talking
Also,
about this
by the
right
way,
now,
again,
there is one Patreon
That is
who is enjoying.
blacktowerpod.com.
All right, Peanut.
You're welcome.
As we're recording this, there's one outstanding, amazing. There's one outstanding Patreon that is hearing this before anybody else does. More shoddy, no joke. Nobody else will hear about this until this coming Friday. It is currently
It's true.
what, the 26th of August. Nobody else will even hear this until the 28th of August. You have a full, at least, let's say 2-day jump.
It's
a
true.
2-day or roughly head
2-day
start.
head start.
The Patreons, they get other stuff. Right now, we're testing. Yeah, you can run around naked in the forums. Do whatever you need to do. Let's do the forums. Let's make them good. Let's make them things. And there'll be forums in the future that are like, hey, what are topics you'd like for the Black Tower podcast to talk about? What are things that, we'll have probably a thread that's all about corrections, the things we've said. There's unlimited.
Oh God, that forum is going to be so long.
Yeah. As long as more than 300,000 times my penis.
Hey,
So- It's quite long. 300,000 times 4.5. It's long.
0 times 1 is still 1. I'm just saying.
Hey.
No,
0
0
times
times 1 is 0.
Shut up. I don't math.
But there's dope forums that literally are waiting to be used. There's an entire site there. There's links on the website for you to take and find our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, our Instagram. There is an embedded subscribe button for YouTube. We're currently sitting at 148 subscribers. Guys, let's get that up. And it's going to be even more.
Those are
important
rookie
later.
numbers.
We gotta pump those numbers up. Jinx.
There's an embedded player for the last 5 episodes of the Black Tower podcast on the website. So you can go to the website, you can listen to it. And we are working on making sure that event information is abundantly clear on the website. But we didn't want to delay getting the website out to you guys any longer. You guys and gals and anything I can't cover by a broad term because I use broad terms.
True.
And
People,
so we're working on it, but the
how about
website
this?
is there.
Fans of the Wheel of Time. You guys, everybody's welcome. As you all know, the Black Tower podcast stands united. We love the Wheel of Time. We love the fans of the Wheel of Time.
No
We're
matter what
grateful
kind of
you're
fans you are.
here. No matter what kind of fans you are. And we're grateful you're here. And we want to create a place where all fans of the Wheel of Time are welcome and loved and appreciated.
Correct.
Let's say we're creating yet another place because there's so many places that fans can already go. There's more than 30 Discord servers. There's a ton of websites. There's a ton of places to go.
There is a lot.
But this is one created by the Black Tower podcast, specifically by an Ashaman who has committed himself to the Black Tower and brought his family along. When they have worked hard,
True.
it is, I'm going to say, because we're going to want to add stuff as much as we can. We're going to want to improve stuff as much as we can. If you have feedback, let us know. You have the
Please.
mechanism. Let us know that we can literally create a forum that says, hey, how to improve blacktowerpod.com. And you know what? As much as we can do, as much as we will do, as much as we think is fantastic and fabulous for the website, we will do. There's more mechanisms to contact us than there is to try to get citizenship in Russia. Don't quote me on that factually, but I'm going to claim it. Putin, don't hate me. But there's
He's going to
there.
find you.
Putin doesn't hate you. Putin loves you.
I mean, I don't want to say I
Putin
would hope
loves
so,
him.
but I also hope he doesn't hate me. But there's so many ways to talk to us. There's so many ways to get in contact with us, to get your opinion to us. There's forums now that we will be checking. There's so much. There's a Twitter, there's a YouTube, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, so many things. If you haven't already, go check us out on Facebook. And if you don't know where to find us on Facebook, go to blacktowerpod.com. There's literally a link on the left-hand side of the screen to check us out. And if nothing else,
BlackTowerPod.com. That's where
and
we're
if
at.
nothing else, that gets you to the link for the event we're having in October. So go check us out. Go give us your feedback on the website. Things that you think do work, things that you think don't work, things you'd like to see added. And as much as we can, we will add it to it. I can tell you, if it costs, we do as much as we can with the finances we have available, as much liquid assets as we have reasonably.
If it's free, done in like days.
Yeah.
True that.
If it's something good for us and it's free, it's done within days. But
Anyway,
Accurate.
go check it out. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think about blacktowerpod.com, your one-stop-ish store
Ish.
for Black Tower
Speaking
Podcast,
of
because
store, though,
we need
we
to
have-
add a link for the merch shop on
we do.
blacktowerpod.com.
That needs to happen. I'm gonna add that.
None of us thought about that until literally right now, as
Like
we're
right
recording.
this second. How did we
So-
not think of a merch
I
link?
I thought of it, but I figured that
Oh.
they would
Really?
just go to Podbean.
Really?
I mean, it literally gives you a link to listen now. Then you go to Podbean, and there's all of our other links. Like it's
It's
a link
true.
to a
Exactly.
link to a link.
That's
We're super available, is what we're saying, guys.
super available.
It's there.
The
We just don't
most
have necessarily
available.
the one-stop shop.
Thank
It's
you
true.
so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are awesome. As always, we appreciate having you. As always, we appreciate you listening along. As always, we appreciate you listening live if that's your jam. You guys are awesome. We love you. And from all of us at the Black Tower, I have been Josh.
And I have been Andrew.
And I have been Daniel. And I hope that all of you are having one of the most amazing mornings that you've ever had in your entire life. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.